I'm Scott Sandwich. I wrote the play with Finn, and I did all the music as well.
My name is Finn O'Branigan, and I co-wrote the show, and I've also produced it.
Consider yourselves lucky that you do not know.
We're probably the cause of our own destruction at this point, and I'm kind of all right with that. I think everyone is kind of prepared in a weird kind of way. Like everyone's like, yeah, we're going to die and no one's going to change things.
I feel like there's so many different possibilities. We may get sucked into a kind of artificial intelligence singularity. We essentially become kind of like the Borg.
I think it's a romp through joy and fear.
The show is like when you have two friends who completely have different points of view and they argue and argue.
Planting trees, recycling, 4-minute showers. Yep, you're yelling over the top of people trying to have a good time.
But the argument is kind of entertaining, and you can kind of see points from both points of view.
We wrote a play earlier called The Epic, and that was more about creation myths. And this is a counter-offer, essentially, about all the myths and stories about the end of the world.
But I know the story of Sekhmet. The Egyptians can't do anything. They're helpless and they die, all right?
And Finn really wanted to make it about the end of the world and have a message in there. And I think there's more like joy in those stories, and you watch us wrestle in the show about those two ideas.
When Tom and I were talking about what we would like to do next, it seemed like a pretty obvious next step to start talking about ends of the worlds. That conversation kind of got us onto a larger conversation about, do people believe in the end of the world? Do people believe that we'll keep going? And kind of wanting to move it beyond, is climate change real or not? But still wanting to talk about the different endings of the worlds that we have seen and the different endings of the worlds that we might see.
And FPOS shut down. So did PlayStation 3s. And all of Germany's bank cards had to be replaced. But hey, look at us now. We're fine.
Well, Finn is a playwright and I'm more of a storyteller. The way that I write stories I never really think about the theatre or colour or the sound being there. So someone like Finn also has so much more practice and more skill at writing for that kind of style. And I think we kind of this particular show seems like a halfway point between it.
We have a lot of fun together. We have a great time. Outside of this practice that we have together, our practices are really very different. And this just feels like a really great common ground for us to keep coming back to the things that we both care about. We care about stories, and we care about how people with different points of view chew through problems together.